Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video. Now you probably see the thumbnail or the title of this video. The state of Luffenia Plus. How is it now compared to when it first released in JP Opera Omnia? There's a few topics that I want to touch on this video, but this video, first off, I want to say that this video is in no shape or form any way of me ranting or complaining. I'm not here to, give the negative things about Luffenia Plus or anything like that. Like, this is not what this video is about. This video is to basically just update everybody, especially global players, on how Luffenia Plus is now compared to how it used to be, and a few other topics that I jot down in a sticky note. Now, one of the things was how Luffenia Plus first started, how Luffenia Plus is now, the resources, how I thought that was going to be a big concern, but I was actually proven wrong. The BT Plus characters not always needed in Luffenia Plus fights. The beginning BT Plus characters, how some people automatically assume that the first couple BT Plus characters are benched. In quotations, I think that's a little ridiculous, but I have seen that. I have been told about that, and I'm wanting to really get in touch with that one because I think that is a dumb statement. The future of Luffenia Plus, and the reason why I'm making this video as well is not only to update on Luffenia Plus and how things are going now, but Crystal level 90 is right around the corner. We're going to be getting new ultimate weapons that we will be able to get via events. So my thing is, like, how is Luffenia Plus going to be after Crystal level 90? How is it going to be after the new ultimate weapons start dropping and we are able to get them for our characters? How are things going to change once Crystal level 90 happens? So I wanted to do this video before that dropped in JP Opera Omnia. So you know what, let's get into it. So the beginning of Luffenia Plus. Now Luffenia Plus at the beginning was a bit rough. They did tease us with the return of the Shinryu event, and they did make a few changes to his fight where at a certain point he would attack, or at a certain amount of turns he would attack, and that is how it was for a lot of the Luffenia Plus fights after Shinryu. So with the Shinryu Luffenia Plus fight, we thought, okay, at least for myself, I thought, all right, so it attacks at this amount of percentage or at this amount of turns. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. It's whatever for me. It is an extra step up of difficulty. But then things started to get a little bit out of hand, and the difficulty really jumped up. It really made us think, especially as JP players who have no foresight compared to global, because with global, you guys don't always 100% have to experience everything, because we are trying to find everything so that way when it comes to global, it's a little bit more easier because you have the information that we have, painlessly gone through to make Luffenia Plus fights, or hopefully make Luffenia Plus fights a little bit more easier, you guys. And that way you can have the info, recommend the team comps, maybe using this or when they're gonna attack, just stuff like that, right? So of course, many players were concerned. There was some videos thrown out there about the concerns about a Luffenia Plus fight, so on and so forth, right? And then it seemed like things started to calm down a little bit, because I think, and I could be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt, but I think the Japanese player base of JP Opera Omnia must have also expressed their concerns about Luffenia Plus. Again, take that with a grain of salt, because I am not entirely sure, but you never know. It could also be a possibility. So with that, things started to change a little bit. Things started to be a little bit more easier after, like, say, the first 5 to 10 Luffenia Plus fights. And then, things started to get a little bit manageable. Now, as of late, the Luffenia Plus fights have actually not been too bad. I think that maybe they did hear our cries and our concerns about it, and so the fights haven't been too terrible. I mean, of course, every fight has their different mechanics. Every fight has their different shenanigans that we gotta put up with, and so there is always a workaround. There's always, that whole, like, oh, we can't beat this fight, that means that this fight is a must pull for whatever new characters just drop. It's not like that, because there is always a workaround, and I have seen that many times, even on global for Luffenia fights, how like some players bring some characters that I never would have thought that I would have used, and they made it work. So I mean, you know, if global players are able to make Luffenia fights work in different ways that us JP players may have not thought of, then you know what, we can do the same thing as well for Luffy Plus fights. So as of right now, Luffenia Plus fights have been pretty manageable. I myself, I mean, I did struggle in some Luffenia Plus fights, but that's because like my choices on the BT Plus characters were probably not the best, but at the same time, the BT Plus characters that I did have maxed out were enough for me to be able to defeat all of the Luffenia Plus fights. I have yet to encounter a Luffy Plus fight that I was unable to defeat. So with that, things have gone a little bit more smoother, and I'm hoping that with the Crystal level 90, it'll probably be a little bit more smoother, but we'll get to that here in just a bit. Now, for the resources, I uploaded a video not really touching on Luffenia Plus fights, but mainly to touch up on the resources, because I thought to myself, well, if they are going to increase the difficulty on Luffy fights, if they're gonna make this fight harder, then they should up the rewards so that way, you know, it won't feel like, oh, we just wasted our time for 5 nuggets or 10 pages or anything like that. Well, as of right now, from what I have seen from this month, for what's coming up this month included, and the previous month, we roughly get enough to almost BT plus 2 units. So we get roughly about 2 ingots and almost 2 ingots and 2 books, if I remembered my timeline correctly, which is to me enough, because like for global players, since you guys have foresight, you will have a much easier time deciding on who you want to BT plus. Now, all of my characters are not BT plus. There are some characters that I have only thrown a book. And with that topic, I want to always go, I want to go into the topic of the few amount of people that have said that there are already BT plus characters that are benched. And I think that's ridiculous. I think people are jumping the gun. I think those, especially who do not play the JP side of Omnia, are really jumping the gun and saying these things that are not true. All BT plus characters are usable. And the thing is though, there are some BT plus characters that you don't need maxed. Take example Ace. My Ace is 0 out of 3 and he performs just fine. So what else can I ask for? Yustola and Zidane were the first 2 and people still use both of them. So for people to say, oh, these characters are benched, I'm going to skip them because there's this other busted character who does a million damage and stuff like that, is not the way to look at it. Because if you look at it that way, if you look at only the numbers, you will suffer in Luffenia Plus fights, because team composition is extremely important in Luffy Plus fights. And I've been saying that in general for any type of fight, that Luffenia Plus fights, that team comp is very important. You know, you got to make sure that you build it not only for your team, but also around the Luffenia orb and stuff like that. You know, there's many things to it. So the whole, you know, BT plus characters being benched, that is not true. Okay, like if I had the opportunity to be able to use every single BT plus character, best believe I would be using every single BT plus character. So I wanted to make that statement because I seen that a couple times, and I think that's well, I mean, it's stupid. Like, if you want me to be honest, it's stupid. Anyways, aside from that, there have been some Luffenia fights as of recent that you do not need any BT plus characters. Like, even just going in with a BT is more than enough. There are plenty of showcases from either the Japanese players who play JP or even the English players who play JP. There are plenty of showcases out there that you can find on YouTube or even in Discord servers that for those who play JP, like including mine, that you can find different team comps with without a BT plus character. Even if the BT character is 0 out of 3, I mean that should tell you otherwise, that you know, with a lot of these characters, with how much they have changed and how much they have grown, like, it's very much possible to be able to do a lot of these fights without a BT plus. Now obviously there are some that, you know, a BT plus would be extremely helpful. You know, I know people have probably seen plenty of showcases, plenty of videos, plenty of Luffy plus runs where you have 3 burst effects on the field. And the thing is though, that's you know, in JP, that's the norm. You know, having 2 burst effects, having 3 burst effects, that's the norm at this point. You know, a lot of people also think that that's such a bad thing on having 3 BT plus effects on the field, and I'm just like, that's normal. That's nothing new. That's been going on ever since BT plus basically, BT plus basically started. So for people to say like, oh, like you need every single BT plus, no, you don't. No, you don't. You can do just fine with 1. You know, I have had my runs where I bring my 1 BT plus character and a friend, and that's it. You know, so I mean, the possibilities are night and day. You just really just have to work at it. Like, I mean, obviously with 3 BT plus effects, yeah, the fight will be 10 times easier and the run will be much easier, and you'll be able to complete the fight much faster. But if you don't have said BT plus character or any character, there is always an alternative. There is always an alternative, or there is always a way to be able to defeat the Luffenia plus fight. After that, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the last thing. So the future of Luffenia plus. Crystal level 90 is right around the corner. Tonight, as I'm recording this video, Snow is coming out with his LD because he is the next Intertwined Wills character to be getting, his event, right, for Intertwined Wills. So with Crystal level 90, I'm going to take one hell of a guess. I have a feeling that at the beginning of Crystal level 90 and these ultimate weapons, I think the fights are gonna run much smoother. I think that a lot of these characters that are still benched right now, and I'm talking about the characters who have not gotten any love in God knows how long, like take example Rem, Fang, Cyan, and a whole bunch of other characters, right? I think a lot of these characters are definitely going to benefit from this ultimate weapons or the Crystal level 90. I think that when it comes to how things are going to be formed, they did mention it, that it's going to be it's not going to be a pullable weapon. It's going to be via an event. So most likely, if it's only going to be 1 weapon, we will probably have to be careful on who we choose it on. But of course, you know, being a JP player, you guys watch what I do. You guys watch like my in-depth videos. You guys watch this and that. So you guys kind of, especially for my global players, you get to pick up on a lot of these things and take notes for the future, because you have the gap is like 7-8 months, so you have plenty of time to plan things out. So I think that with Crystal level 90, I can definitely see Luffenia plus fights being running so much smoother. I can definitely see the possibility of a lot of characters doing some top tier damage. I could definitely see some newer, stronger supports. I mean, I know we just got Pain, and Pain is pretty freaking nuts, but I could definitely see a lot of other characters that have not gotten any love in a while could potentially be better than Pain. And I know that's a big exaggeration, but I feel like that possibility could happen, but you never know. So I think with Crystal level 90, they will probably I definitely think fights will be a little bit more smoother, but I think at some point they might start upping up the difficult a little bit. Not like a new difficulty mode in general, but I think for future fights they might just add like different shenanigans. They might have to, you know, we might have to deal with like this and that and other stuff. But I mean, hey, like I said, there was always a way to be able to defeat a fight, you know, even if the struggle can be hard sometimes. Like take example, me and myself with Shiva, the Shiva Luffenia plus fight. You know, after so many tries, I managed to do it at the end before the whole rewards and everything like that went away. So like I think it will be possible. I think things will be just fine. And of course, as a Japanese as a JP player, you know, you guys already know, based off of my videos and stuff like that, you guys will be able to pick up on a lot of things. So I see Luffenia, excuse me, I see Crystal level 90 being an increase in a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of changes, definitely. And, you know, it's at this point, it's just really hoping for the best. So we'll see how things go. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know, based off of the topics that I have talked about in this video, what you, you know, just give your honest opinions. You know, I'm always open to criticism, opinions, and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next video.